We motivated? I tell you what, camp got going, and it's like the first day of camp is always a little bit strange because we're out there, we don't really know a lot of people, we don't know what's going on, we're getting us off the bus, and so you guys are probably feeling pretty tired right now. Are we awake? We're awake? We're wide awake? All right, so if you're wide awake, make a lot of noise for me right now. Take it easy. Got a couple ladies right here that didn't make any noise. Let's try one more time. If you're motivated and you're awake and you're ready to rock and roll, make a little bit of noise for me. Okay. Hey, look, one thing you're going to learn about me is I'm all about picking on people. I'm not a huge fan of individualism, right? When people a lot of times stand out for the wrong reasons. A lot of times people will stand out because they're afraid of looking weird. They're afraid of getting outside the box. And I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of people being confident in themselves. I'm a big fan of when somebody likes something, they make it known that they like it. Like, who likes a type of music, for example, that is a little bit strange? Right, like I do. You ever, like I remember one time I'm driving down the street. Who knows who Mariah Carey is? Right, so I'm like this big black guy, driving down the street, my nice car, BMW, and I'm listening to Mariah Carey, and she's just going crazy. And I got the windows down, right? And when you're on the highway, it's all cool. Because on the highway, no one's really paying attention to what's going on inside your car. But then I come off the highway, and I get to a stoplight, and I'm just bumping Mariah Carey right there, and I'm like, look over, and I get this guy looking at me like, what's up with this dude? But you know what? A lot of people, what would they do? They turn the music down. Why? They're embarrassed. They're afraid of how they look. And so I'm not a fan of that. And so what I'm going to encourage you guys to do is, again, right, embrace the cringe a little bit. What I'm going to encourage you guys to do is get outside the box a little bit. Look, if you like something, like what you like. If you do something, do it the way that you do it. Do your thing the way that you do it. So what we're going to talk about today is something that is important to me. It's called a vision. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my story. When I grew up with a vision of more. I wanted to be able to achieve a lot of things in my life. I wanted to be able to travel to faraway places. I wanted to be able to spend my time, helping folks. I mean, I remember when someone used to ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up, Max? I used to have this vision of me being a very strong, very successful business owner that had multiple businesses, and I would be able to walk into any of my businesses, and I didn't really work in them. I worked on them. And so I walk in the business and they say, oh, Mr. Dutton, how are you? They start wiping the counter now because the boss comes in, right? Like I was wearing a suit. Like this is how the life was envisioned for me when I was young. The reason why, though, is because I wanted to travel far away because at home, both my parents were drug addicts. They were crackheads. I wanted to travel far away because at home, I used to get beat up pretty good by my dad. I wanted to travel away because at home, we never had any food. I wanted to go make a lot of money and be successful because I knew at home when I opened up the drawers, there was going to be crack pipes in the drawers and cockroaches in my shoes and burnt spoons in the sink. But that's what I knew, and so I wanted to get away from that. And so I had to create this vision for my life. And so I come to you today to talk to you about vision, about what that means. And so my question is, do you have a vision for your life? Let's get an example. So does somebody have the courage to stand up and say what their vision is for their life? And just for the top deck up there, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but the mic's a little hot and it's got a nice buzz to it. Who has a vision for their life? Young lady, go ahead and stand up for me and speak it nice and loud. Let's hear what your vision is for your life.
I am the oldest of 11 kids. I plan to become a teacher and show them that it is not okay to fail in life.
Okay, I love that. What's your name? What is it? Give her a round of applause, right? Give her a round of applause. Because if we don't support her, who's going to support her? If we don't show her that can be possible, and that is possible, who is, right? Who else has a vision for their life? Who else has the confidence to stand up and tell us what you want to be? Young lady in the back. What's your vision for your life?
I am going to be a famous film writer and director, and I'm going to write movies that are going to change lives for the better.
A famous film writer, director, make movies that change the world. I love that. Stand up for me. As loud as you can, tell everybody, what is your name? Acacia. So one day, we're going to see the credits rolling on the screen, and we're going to see Acacia's name up there, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's about having a vision for your life. So, if you don't have a vision for what you want to be when you grow up and what you want to do, you need to figure that out. You need to figure it out pretty quickly, because ultimately, that is what it all comes down to. It's about having a direction. You get on an airplane. I travel from Fort Lauderdale to be here with you. And I can guarantee you that when you get on an airplane, even if it's just for fun, even if you're just sporting around in the plane, getting your pilot's license, getting some hours, there's always a plan. There's always a plan. You're never going to get into a plane without having a plan, because there's a certain amount of fuel. So you need to have a vision, a direction, understand where you want to go. But let me explain to you how direction works. See, if you get into a plane from California, right? Let's go ahead and say we're at Ontario Airport, and we get in a plane and we're headed for Washington, D.C. Well, let's assume that if we change the nose of that plane by just 1 degree, now all of a sudden, over the course of that 3,000 miles, we're no longer going to end up in Washington, D.C., but we'll end up, in fact, in New York City. A major difference from just 1 small degree change. And so that's why it's incredibly important for you to have a vision for your life. And so to demonstrate it, it's my whole month's paycheck right here. I'm in the military. I don't make that much. Who wants the money?
I want that money. I love you, partner.
Who wants the money? In the back, you want the money? Who wants this money? Okay, hey, you're up first. Come here. Everyone else go sit down. Give a round of applause. What's your name? Soraya? Soraya, I'm going to tell you something. This is a solid $10 in U.S. currency right here. I can't guarantee you it's clean. It's all ones. I'm not sure where it came from. But let me go ahead and tell you something, Soraya. The fact that you got up and did something about it. How many times do I have to ask? It's up on the screen, ain't it? What does it say? Instantly, what do we see people do? Raise your hand right now if you want something in life. You want success, you want to be in a good business, you want a nice house, you want a good family, you want to travel the world. Raise your hand if that's what you want. Right? And so we made it verbal. That's what we wanted. We made it known. Like we say, yeah, I want it, right? I want it. Say, I want it. Say, I want it.
I want it.
Say it loud, I want it.
I want it.
But who got up? That's right. Who got up? See, that's the difference. So give Soraya a round of applause. Give Soraya a round of applause, because Soraya was the first. And you look, after a while, there were a few people who got up. After a while, there were a few people who stood up and they were going to get here, but even they were too slow. Now, this may seem like a fun little game, a little joke, and it is a fun little thing, but it's a perfect litmus test. It's a perfect demonstration of life, where you have things that you want, things you want to achieve, goals that you say you're going to accomplish, places you say you're going to go, books you say you're going to write, music you say you're going to play, things you say you're going to do, and you never do it. Think about that. You never get up and get the money. You let somebody else get up and get the money. You let somebody else get up and get the guy, or get the girl, or get the family, or get the plane, or get the travel, get the adventure, get the challenge, get the job, get the opportunity. They took it and you didn't. And you know what? You're saying, well, it's not fair. Raise your hand if you're in the back 5 rows. Raise it up high. Raise it up high. Okay, so look. Do you have an advantage if you're right here? Yes or no? If you're in the front row and the guy with the money's right here, do you have an advantage? You sure do. You sure do. But unfortunately, It doesn't really matter, does it? Soraya, where you at? She's in the 4th row, all the way on the side. Soraya did it. Life isn't fair. You might start in the back. You might start in the back and have to make your way up to the front. But if you act, guess what? You can still beat the person in the front, the person with inaction. Life is not fair. You might start in the back. You might have 2 parents who are addicted to crack cocaine. You might have a dad that abused you. You might have an uncle that touched you. You might have a sister that beat you up, or a brother that beat you up. You might have a foster care, system in your life. You might be getting raised by your grandparents. You might not have any money. Life is not fair. But it doesn't mean that the opportunities can't be yours, because the opportunities go to he who takes action. That's the only thing. Because vision without action is just a dream. You can have all the visions that you want. You can have all the dreams that you want. You can say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be successful. But talk is cheap and action is expensive. It costs money. It costs time. It costs effort. It costs friendships, relationships. It costs cutting off pieces of your body, cutting off pieces of your leg. It takes a pound of flesh to make it. But that's what it's all about. You can say what you want, but a vision without action is unfortunately just a dream. There was a boy, all he ever wanted to do was make his father proud. All he wanted to do was just make his dad proud. Dad, I love you. Young guy, he's like, Dad, are you proud of me? Says, son, when you find your way, I'll be proud of you. When you find your way, I'll have this conversation with you again. We'll talk. So he's like, I got to make my dad proud. He goes all the way through high school, gets perfect grades. I mean, he's staying up late. He's going to school early. He's doing his homework. Sometimes he'd go to school with 3-4 hours of sleep just because he was focusing on getting his homework done. And one day the report card comes out and it's all A's, every single one of them, except he's got 1 B. He says, Dad, are you proud of me? Dad looks at the report card, looks at the boy and says, son, when you find your way, then we'll talk. The boy's not satisfied. He knew that his dad went to the University of Chicago, and so when he graduated from high school, he's like, I'm getting in to the University of Chicago. It's a top 10 school, and I'm getting in the door. And he works his butt off, and he gets in the door. He gets into the school. He says, Dad, I'm going to the same school you went to. I'm going to the same college you did, Dad. Are you proud of me? Dad said the same thing he's been saying to him since he was just a young kid. Son, when you find your way, we'll talk, man. We'll talk. Does everything he can to become the valedictorian in that school. And he makes it happen. He graduates with honors. He's the only one wearing the red gown, and everyone else is wearing the black because he's the best. And he looks at his dad in the front row and he says, Dad, are you proud of me? Son, when you find your way, we'll talk. So he gets a job at a very expensive law firm, very impressive law firm. He becomes a partner just like his dad. And he's like, Dad, look, I'm one of the #1 lawyers in Chicago, just like you, Dad. Just like you. Dad, are you proud of me? Dad puts his hand on his shoulder and says, son, when you find your way, then we'll talk. That was the moment that broke this boy, who had turned into a shell of a man. He broke him, changed the way that he looked at his life. He fell into a depression. He began to drink, began to use drugs. He lost his girlfriend. He was engaged. He was about to get married to this beautiful woman, lost the relationship. And he calls his dad. He's all drunk. He's, Dad, all I ever wanted you to do was love me, Dad. I tried my best. And now I'm going to take my own life because it doesn't matter. Because you never loved me. Dad says to him, son, I always told you that when you find your way, then we'll talk. I've always loved you, son, because you're my son. But I never wanted you to follow in my footsteps. I wanted you to follow in your footsteps, to figure out who you want to be. Do we have anybody in the audience right now that's looking at their mom or looking at their dad or looking at somebody else in the family, or maybe it's an older brother or sister, and says, you have a lot to live up to, that you have to do something because they did something? Is there anybody in the audience that can feel that with me? Couple in the back. Yes, I see you back here. Anybody else? Anybody else feel the pressure of trying to keep up with somebody else? Trying to impress somebody else? Some people in the front here, okay? Right, we got another guy right here, yes. Right, like that's an unfair pressure. I'm sure there's a lot of you that kind of feel what I'm talking about. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe you're in a group of friends and you're not the cool one. Maybe you're in a group of friends and you're not the cool friend. You're the friend that kind of is like the outcast, like you know that they're getting together and you have to ask for the invitation where they just invited the other girls or they invited the other dudes and you got to ask for that invitation, right? You're like the outcast a little bit. Has anyone felt that before? I know I did. Right? Like we spend our lives so often trying to become like somebody else. Raise your hand if you got TikTok. I got TikTok, man. All right. Hey, who's got a lot of followers on TikTok? Raise your hand if you got like over 100K followers on TikTok. We got one? Okay. Yeah, I got a lot of followers on TikTok. I got 250,000 followers on TikTok. You know what? There's a lot of people on TikTok that I look at and they try to be just like me. They try to make content like I make. They try to follow my footsteps. That's the thing about social media. We see these people doing certain things and we just repeat the trend. We just copy the ideas. We take what's trending and we just recycle it. That's how we get trends. That's how we do these things over and over again. And we're trying to become like somebody else. But you don't get to the top by pretending to be something that you're not. Because what ends up happening is you wake up later down the line. You wake up 10, 15, 20 years later down the line. You wake up and you're 50, 55, 60, and you realize you're not anybody. You spend so long in your life trying to be somebody that you end up being nobody. You don't even know who you are. You're so afraid of people judging you for standing out. I got people judging me right now. I stand up here, people judging me right now. It doesn't matter, man. You got to learn to be yourself, to follow your own path, to figure out who you want to be, because we already determined that a vision without action is a dream, but even worse than that is that action without vision becomes a nightmare. And that's how so many people live their life. They just start doing things. They go to colleges that they don't even want to go to. They study things that they don't even understand why they did it in the first place. They end up getting jobs that are like, yo, what is this? What do I do? I'm a logistics what? When I was 20 years old, 18 years old, I wanted to be this. What happened to me? And we wake up sometimes and we realize that everything that we said and everything that we thought and everything that we wanted, none of it came true. And it's because we didn't have our life and our priorities in order. We didn't have things lined up in a way that was going to help us really get to the goal. We were trying to be somebody else, and so we wake up and we live a nightmare. And a nightmare is defined as just this repeating cycle of terror. A repeating cycle of 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. A repeating cycle of waking up and going to sleep and saving up all the money you can all year long so that way you can go on a 1-week vacation and use your entire PTO. Is waking up every single day, going to a job that you hate. Is waking up every single day and looking in the mirror and hating what you see and wondering, why can't I do more? Why can't I be better? It's because you sold out years ago. You allowed yourself to fall victim to it. You allowed yourself to fall victim to it. Action without vision is a nightmare. So the question is, where are we going? Like I told you, if we're in that plane and we take off and we don't have a plan and we're just enjoying the view. We're just enjoying the view. An hour goes by, 2 hours goes by, we're soaring through, 4 hours goes by. What starts to happen? We start running out of fuel, am I right? And then that plane comes down, but not the right way. A lot of times, we need to know where we're going. We need to have a destination. We need to have our life on lock. We need to have a vision secured. But now let's talk about what it means. Number one, you got to figure out who you want to be. Now, I get it. You're young. No decisions need to be made today. However, these are thoughts that you need to have. You need to figure out, hey, who am I first? Who am I? Am I strong? Am I brave? Am I scared? I'll tell you something about fear. Fear is funny. Fear is about not doing something because it makes you uncomfortable, it makes you nervous, whatever the case is. Every morning, when I wake up, it's either 3:30, 4 o'clock, one or the other, depending on what time I went to sleep. I started to implement this little trick. As soon as my alarm clock goes off, I immediately get out of the bed, instantly. And I walk directly into my bathroom and I turn the shower on with me in the shower already. And I let the cold water hit me, ice cold, bah. And I don't do it so I can get this like cool, like rejuvenating muscle flicks, it helps my joints. I do it because I'm afraid of it. I do it because at 4 o'clock in the morning, the absolute last thing that I want to face is a freezing cold shower at this exact moment. It has nothing to do with waking up a little bit more. It has nothing to do with rejuvenating my tendons. It has everything to do with doing something that I don't want to do because I know I don't want to do it. And it's about figuring out who I want to be. And the type of person that I want to be is the type of person that does the things that nobody else is willing to do because I want to get the things that nobody else is ever going to have. And that's how it works. If you figure out that you want to be able to travel the world and you want to be able to start a successful business, you want to be able to have a great family life, maybe things that you never had before, you have to make that decision today. And you have to do the things that are going to get you closer to that goal. You have to test yourself, build yourself, figure out who you are, figure out who you want to be. Do I have anybody in the audience right now that is a little bit confused about who they may want to be? Not quite sure of what their direction is? How does that make you feel? Stand up for me. How does it make you feel? You're 16 years old, right? What's your name? Matthew. Matthew's a special name to me. Tell me something, Matthew. At 17 years old, how does it make you feel right now to be a junior in high school and not be 100% sure of what direction you want to go with your life?
I'm a little concerned, but I know I have time, but best time is now, so I need to take action.
Yeah, you do, man. You do. I love that. You think you have time. That's true. Who else is a little bit confused? Who else wants to share how that feels? Yes, please stand up over here. Don't be afraid, and I need you to use your big girl voice, okay? Let's hear what you got. Oh, we got 2 volunteers. We're gonna do one in the back first, and then we'll do you in the front. 1 and then 2. Go ahead, you first. Both of you guys, simultaneously. Go ahead, young lady. What's your name? What is it? Okay.
And I'm 17, but I feel very unprepared. Like you said, it may seem like I have a lot of time. I don't. I feel like I should have everything all sorted out.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be a little bit scary, right? And young lady, what about you? What's your name?
Jenny?
Okay, Jenny? Jenny from the block?
Yeah.
Go ahead and speak up for me, Jenny from the block. Tell me, how does it make you feel to be a little bit confused, a little bit unsure?
Well, it's just not so much confused, more like undecisive. Because I've had like a lot of careers, like 3 careers, right? And it's hard because I have the potential, but I also feel like I don't have like maybe enough talent within me, or I just don't feel like I'm ready for the job to be something like, that I really want to do.
So what you really mean is that you have limiting beliefs. You don't believe in yourself. Okay, give her a round of applause. That takes a lot of courage right there to stand up and say, hey, I don't believe in myself necessarily. But you know what? We all have limiting beliefs. I got limiting beliefs too. When I first became a motivational speaker, I had a lot of limiting beliefs. Sometimes I still do. It still baffles my mind that someone would pay me $5 or $10 or $15,000 to get on a stage and talk to people about something. And sometimes I ask myself, how can a poor kid from Philadelphia that never had a nickel to his name now be in a position to do this? Am I qualified? And you know what? I don't have a master's degree. So you may judge me. Say I'm not qualified. But just because I don't have a master's degree from a school doesn't mean that I have not mastered a craft. Just because I don't have a master's degree doesn't mean that I'm not a master of figuring it out. A master of overcoming adversity. You may be young, but you do have what it takes. You may be young, but you can figure it out. You may be young, but there is a path for you. There is a plan for you. You are qualified. And also keep in mind, it's okay to not know, but the important thing is knowing that you don't know. And waking up every day understanding that you don't know. And keeping that thought in your mind, so as you navigate and as you meet people and as you see things and as you get exposed to the world, you start to see what you want to be, and it starts to take shape and become a thing. The real problem is individuals who are lackluster. They wake up every day and they enjoy the labors of mom and dad. They think that the life that they have right now is going to be forever. Like, it's not, though, just so you know. I don't know how things are in your household, but where I grew up, it ended too soon. But every person in this room at some point is going to have to pick up their own pack and carry that thing. And you have to make some decisions along the way. And so the second thing that I really want you to take away from this is, like the young man Matthew said, is taking action. It's about taking action. You know what? Sometimes you're going to take action on the wrong things and you're not going to win. And that's okay. You take action and you learn and you fail and you learn and you fail and you learn, and then eventually you find the right thing. Eventually you figure it out. He who falls 7 times must stand up 8. The only way to truly win in this world is by never giving up and always getting up one more time than you fell. It's that simple. I explained it to a group just like this. If you never stop, you will succeed or you will die. Those are the only 2 options. If you never quit on whatever endeavor, goal, dream, thing you try to accomplish, if you never stop, you will eventually achieve it or you will die trying. And that's okay too, because when that time comes, you're on to bigger and better things, hopefully. But action is the name of the game. Let's talk about fear. Who's ever been afraid of something? Okay, can I get a DGL to tell me something they've been afraid of? Stand up. Yes, sir. You're motivated.
I was afraid the first time I ever applied for a job, first time I asked a girl out. I faced fear all throughout my whole life.
That's right. That's right. All right, I love that. Okay, thank you. What's your name?
I'm Alex.
Alex. Hey, give Alex a round of applause. All right. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, back when I was dating, I'm happily married, by the way, so don't come hit me up, all right? But the point is, like, you know, when I was still in the dating scene, yeah, man, talking to girls is a scary thing. You know, you don't want to get turned down. You know, it's like, hey, excuse me, I think you're really beautiful. And I'm like, no, I'm okay, buddy, thank you. I'm like, oh. I hope nobody saw that. You know, it's like, oh no, I was just telling you your shoes untied. You know, it's a scary thing, but the world's a scary place. Rejection's a scary thing. Someone else want to tell me something that they're scared of? What about you? Young man with the hat on, chewing the gum. Tell me something, man. Stand up for me. What's your name? What is it? Ruben? All right, give Ruben a round of applause. Wake him up a little bit. Amen. Tell me, Ruben, give me something that you're afraid of, man.
Well, I'm afraid to die. But
You're afraid to die? Why are you afraid to die, man?
because, like, I can happen anytime.
Yeah? Why are you afraid of it, though? What's there to be afraid of? Okay, now we got a deep conversation. Let's connect after that. Take a seat. This ain't the time for that one, but that's good. Okay? He's afraid to die. Okay? You know what? I used to be afraid to die too. Ruben. You know when I stopped being afraid to die? When 2 things happened. When I had my son, and then I built a relationship with who I consider God. When those 2 things happened, I no longer feared death. I knew that with my son there, everything that I needed in my life was like, if my life purpose was to have him, then so be it. Right? And maybe one day you'll get there if you're blessed. Let me talk to you a little bit about fear. See, fear is the killer of dreams. Things that you want to accomplish in your life, fear is going to hold you back from them. Fear is the thing that's going to make you procrastinate. Fear is the thing that's going to keep you from achieving your dreams. That's how fear works. Fear shuts you down. Fear is the thing that when it gets inside of your bones, it melts you. It creates paralysis. Everything you ever wanted will never come true. There's people who they're afraid to ask for an upgrade at the airport. There's people who are afraid to ask for extra snacks on the airplane. There's people that are afraid to do all types of little things. If you're afraid to do these little things, you're definitely going to be afraid to start the big things. See, I'm a military recruiter, a Marine Corps recruiter, and I'll tell you what, I can make the Marine Corps sound awesome. Like I'll make the Marine Corps sound like the best place in the freaking world. Like you can be like, yo, I'm going to join the Marines, Dad. Like after I'm there, it doesn't matter what your dream is. I'm telling you, I can make the Marine Corps sound like the best. But the problem is, no matter how good it sounds, no matter how beneficial it truly is, no matter what it can do for your life, fear of the unknown is what stops people from accomplishing things, stops people from trying things. The fear of, well, if I do this, I will miss out on this. Or if I do this, I'll miss out on something else. I don't even know what it is yet because it hasn't happened. It hasn't come to fruition yet. I don't even know what the thing I would be missing out on is. But if I do one thing, I can't do other things. Fear will stop you. Let me tell you about fear. There was a young boy. He used to walk home from school every single day. And right down the street from his house, there was this ferocious dog. I'm talking like big pit bull style kind of dog, right? And he used to bark every single time. Anybody that walked past this gate, that dog would be hitting that gate, just going crazy. And so the kid made sure that when he walked home from school, even though he could have got home in about 5 minutes, he took the long way home and went about 25 minutes all the way around, right? That's a fair point. Small sacrifice to not have to worry about getting eaten by the dog, right? Well, one day the young man's like, I gotta use the bathroom. The pee-pee dance, he's hurting bad. And so he says, screw it. I'm just going to walk past the dog. I've never seen the dog jump over the gate. Probably not going to jump over the gate right now. I'm going to face my fear. I'm just going to go for it. And he starts walking past the dog and just like comes out of the doghouse, crazy, fast, boom, hits the gate. Kid starts running for his life. The dog goes insane. Once he sees him running, he knew that is my prey. That's breakfast. Jumps over the gate, starts chasing the boy. The kid is running faster than he ever ran in his life. But unfortunately, the dog was just a little bit too fast. Kid turns around to just accept defeat. Dog ends up right in front of him, looks down at the dog. The dog looks at him and smiles at him. It turns out the dog doesn't have any teeth. The whole time he's afraid of the dog and don't even have any teeth. Oh my gosh, right? That's how fear works. You're afraid of things that don't even have teeth. You're afraid of things that don't exist. You're afraid of things that aren't real. We're afraid of failure, but you're probably not going to fail. You'd be surprised what happens when a human being is put against a wall. Raise your hand if you've ever been in a position in your life and you just had to figure it out. I know I have. And the older you get, the more those positions come where you're like, I just got to figure it out. There is no one saving me. And you'd be surprised just how tenacious you can be in those moments. Just how ferocious you can be in those moments. Just how creative you can be in those moments when you have to figure it out. And so a lot of times when we're afraid of things that just simply don't exist. We're afraid of things that aren't real. We're afraid of things that have no true meaning. We're afraid of things because someone told us we should be afraid of it. Who's ever been afraid of something because somebody told them at one point it was a bad thing? Huh? The dog. The dark. Okay, yeah. I mean, somebody told you that, the boogeyman was real. And so you just make sure that no matter what happens, like, I'm going to make sure I don't get in trouble. The boogeyman will come get me tonight. A lot of times we're afraid of things. I deal with that a lot. Young man, my mom told me that the Marine Corps, I'm going to die, so I'm not going to do it. I'm like, dude, what? Come on, man. Right? People are afraid of things. They don't even know what they're afraid of. They're afraid because they have secondhand fear. That's how fear works. Fear is so powerful that you can take your fear and give it to her. And you'll be afraid of something you never saw, you never experienced, you never even thought of before she put it in your mind. Think about what I just said. Fear is contagious. Don't walk into the cabin, the haunted cabin. Who's heard about the haunted cabin here? I'm telling you, don't walk in that cabin. You will see a ghost in there, and that ghost will follow you back to your house. So don't go there. Or will it? I don't know. Right? Are you going to go? Maybe. So time is running out, man. That's the point, right? You said I got a lot of time, Matthew. That's what you said. Time is actually running out. I'm going to explain to you. I'll tell you a quick story about time. There's a young man. You see this guy up here? His name was Jonathan Metal. Mr. Metal. I'm actually picking this kid up. You guys see that? Picking him up over my head. He's a good kid, man. about 110 pounds soaking wet. When I first met John, he had dropped out of high school. He had gotten a GED, and while all his friends were seniors in high school, he had already kind of had his high school diploma or whatever, and he's just floating around, working a little job, whatever the case may be. And I'm like, hey brother, you ever thought about joining the United States Marine Corps? He's like, yeah man, I can't join the Marines. I'm 100 pounds. There's no way I'm gonna make it. I'm like, you probably will be fine. Probably, I don't know for sure, right? But like, you'll probably be okay. And so I invite him out to physical training one day to come work out with us. And I'm like, look, just give it a shot, bro. You're going to love it. You're going to do good. Like, I'm going to be there with you, whatever. So we started doing PT. I got about 50 little future Marines out there, high school kids, they're working out. And he's a new guy. And I'm telling you, I crushed him that day. I broke everybody off. I put them into they're doing bear crawls. They're doing mountain climbers. They're doing everything. They're covered in mud. And I look over to my left and I'm counting, and I can't see where John's at. I look to my left, and I see this little skinny white kid running away. He's going right to his car, like he's trying to just sneak off. I'm like, man, okay. Kept that in my mind. The next day, I go to find John. I say, John, knock on his door, because that's the kind of guy I am, especially as a Marine Corps recruiter. I'll just come straight to your house. I'm knocking right on the door. I don't care. Don't run from me. I know where you live. It's in the computer. Like, I'm coming, right? Just so you know. So I go to John's house. I'm like, John, you quit on me, man. You ran off. He's like, it's just not for me, Long story short, I take John out for lunch, and we have a great lunch. And he decides, you know what? I'm going to give it another shot. It comes to PT, and he makes it all the way through the PT. And he comes back the next day, and you know what he realized? He says, I got a family. I got friends now. I got a lot of people that know me, and I know them. I feel like I have a place. Like I told you earlier, sometimes we feel like we don't really have a place. We don't really fit in. And John finally felt like he really fit in because he had like-minded individuals just like him who want to do something special for the country, to do something special for their own life, to work out and get in shape. And, he eventually went through the process and got what we call his blue shirt. He became a future Marine, and he officially had a ship date and a job, and it was go time. And so me and John, we built a great relationship. I mean, I don't just pick up every single future Marine that I ever made. I really liked this kid. He's a good dude. And so me and John are getting him ready to go to boot camp. And, a couple of weeks goes by, a couple months goes by, and he's really getting in shape. A lot of the buddies that he knew from high school, they used to hit him up, and he actually brought a bunch of his friends in to join the Marine Corps as well. He turned out to be pretty influential. He had about 5 kids that were like, hey, if John's going to join, I'm going to join. I'm like, sounds good, dude. I'm about to get promoted because of this kid. Keep him coming, Johnny. And so John's hanging out. It's time for him to go to boot camp. He's shipping to recruit training on Monday. So now it's Sunday, Saturday night. And before you go to boot camp for the Marine Corps, it's like you're about to give up your life for at least 90 days. Boot camp is like you're not talking to nobody on the phone, right? Like you're in total isolation. And so he's going crazy. He's going to go crazy this weekend. He had this girlfriend, and he loved this girl. And they spent the whole day together. They're in the pool. They're playing all day. They're having a lot of fun. They're eating the barbecue. And John lives in a really nice house. His mom was really well off, and his stepdad, they had a lot of money. And so they're living a really good life. And John's in the pool with his girl, and they're barbecuing. They're just having a blast. And the thing is, his girl lived about 2 hours north. And so, it's 11 o'clock at night. He's like, hey, babe, I'm supposed to be shipping to recruit training tomorrow. I'm going to bring you home. So he drives his girlfriend home. She lives in a whole different county. So you got to go from this county up to another county. It's like 2.5 hours up north. And now he gets there. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning, drops her off, gives her a kiss, and said, the next time you see me, I'm going to be a United States Marine. Okay, babe. Gave him a kiss and got back in the car. Off he went. He's driving down the street, and he looks a lot like this young lady here in the front row, just bobbing off. And he starts to get tired, and he wakes up, and he's bobbing off again. And before you know it, John fell asleep behind the wheel of the car on I-95. Hyundai Veloster, going 82 miles per hour, slides off I-95 into the grass, goes sideways, hits a B-pillar of a pipe, of a pole, a camera pole, kills John on impact, destroys the car. John's dead. I get a call the next morning, unknown number. I call, hello? Hey, is this Staff Sergeant Dutton? I'm like, yeah, this is. Hi, this is Jonathan Meadows' dad. I'm like, okay, how can I help you? John's not going to be shipping to boot camp today. Why not? John was killed in a car accident last night, driving his girlfriend home from school. I was speechless. I was sitting right next to my little brother. He was there with me. We were driving up the highway. I remember the moment like it was yesterday. See, this kid, he had a whole future. He had so many things that he finally made a decision. He finally was ready to take action. But what he realized is he didn't have as much time as he thought. You never know when your time is going to be up. You never know when you're going to get called, when your ticket's getting punched. So you got to take action. You can't hesitate and you can't waste it. I'm telling you something. Jonathan had a lot of potential. And you know what? I don't know if he had made a couple of small decisions differently, how things would have changed. And I don't know. That's just not how life works. You got one shot. It is what it is. How it works is how it works. And when it's done, it's done. And I'm not sure what was to come of that. But one thing I know for sure is that he gave it everything that he had. He had made a decision he was moving toward. And you know, he never made it to boot camp, but I still attended his funeral with a couple other Marines, and we treated him as if he was a Marine, and we gave him a type of military honors, and we folded a flag for him and gave it to his mother, even though we didn't have to. He wasn't technically a Marine until the next day. Had he shipped, his mother would have got $500,000 life insurance policy. He would have full military honors. Like just one more day, he would have been able to have that honor of being a Marine burial. But even though he didn't have that, I know that he was proud of himself because he had made a decision. And that kid worked hard, man. He was dedicated. And what else is life really worth unless you're just going to do your best at what you got? Like whatever you're given, like just do the best with what you have. Isn't that good enough anyway? So the problem is when your time is up, when your ticket is punched, when the clock runs out and you haven't started and you haven't decided and you don't know and you don't care to know. And it's not until that moment when you say, man, I wonder what would have happened had I done something just a little bit differently. Had I just tried a little bit harder, had I made a decision, like in the moments of death, I've had many near-death experiences in my life, and there's something really strange that happens right before you think you're going to die. Like right before you really think you're going to die, you have this weird moment where only the things that are most important to you come alive. Only those things, nothing else, not the car you drive, not the house you got. It's the person. It's the wife, it's the mom, it's the kid, it's the people, right? Like it's the differences that you made. It's like, can you come to peace with it? It's that crazy moment where the things come, and those are the most important things. And so you never know when your time is up. So you got to do something with that time. Even though you're young, you got to start today. Today. It's the only way. When you're here, you got to give it everything that you got. Find a passion, find a mentor, find a friend, find somebody that's going to help you out, because you being in this camp, you being here in this moment, you have a chance and you have a choice. See, the fact that you got to wake up this morning, you got something that Jonathan Meadow didn't have, and that was a chance. It was a chance to breathe. I was just talking to a couple of people yesterday. I was sitting out there by the tree, and I'll tell you what, man, I come up here, it takes me 5 Claritin just to be able to breathe. But once I got them in my system, I'm like, man, it feels good to be up here. It just feels good to have the air in my lungs. It feels good to be in nature because I have a chance. I wake up every day grateful for another day. I wake up every day ready to go. But the problem is, even though you have a chance, you have a choice to make with that chance. Like you have a choice. Are you going to make the most of the chance that you were given? You chose to come here. Raise your hand if you were forced here against your will. Okay, so you made a choice. So shouldn't we also make the choice to make the most of it? Shouldn't we also make a choice to make a friend today? Should we make a choice to make somebody, to choose to befriend someone, to choose to wrap our arms around someone, to choose to take that kid that we know is standing out, like the one that's weird, strange, we know they're a little off, like we choose to put our arm around them and carry them along. We choose to be a man or a woman of character. Maybe we don't know exactly what we want to do, but we do have the ability to know exactly how we want to be. We have a chance and we have a choice. And the question is, are you going to make the most of it? So I'll ask you the same question I asked you in the beginning, which is, what is the vision for your life? What is the vision for who you're going to become? And you know what? Maybe you're 55, 65, 75. You lived it all. You did it all. You're not done yet, man. You're still here. You still got a chance and you still got a choice. And one thing I've learned in my 32 short years is that a year changes a lot. You can do a lot with a year. A year can take somebody who's addicted to crack cocaine and turn them into a successful business owner. A year can take somebody that's a family man, that has a beautiful family, kids, money, success. A year can take that person and make them homeless in the streets, take everything from them. A year is a lot of time. So as you enjoy your week, I want you thinking about what the vision for your life is going to be, what you want to be, how you want to be, and who you want to be. Is that fair? All right. Now, last thing, okay? I want you to follow me on social media. Check me out at Dutton Mindset, Instagram, TikTok. But what's most important, I would really appreciate if you guys scan that QR code. Go ahead and let me know how I did today. If I inspired you, just let me know how I did. I'm so grateful to be here with you today. I'm going to give you a round of applause because I'm so happy that you guys had me here. Thank you so much. Keep crushing it, and we're going to have a great weekend, okay? So make some noise for an awesome weekend, all right? Let's do this thing, man. That's what I'm talking about. I love it.